I've been developing for about a month now, and I've been learning everything from animating to GUI to building and scripting. I think it's finally time I take what I learned and try to make a complete game. Luckily for me, while searching for devlogs to watch on YouTube, I stumbled across a YouTuber named Sorby who was hosting a game jam this week. So I'm going to record my submission in a series. Here are the rules to the game jam. It's a solo game jam, which means no one can work on the game with me. I'm allowed to take models from the toolbox, but everything must be scripted by me. The game must be made for all platforms. There will be a theme for the game jam that I have to follow, and lastly, there's a prize of 1 to 3,000 Robux. The theme of the game jam is hidden in plain sight. Immediately I was thinking of a ghost hunting horror game, but I don't really like horror games. Then I decided on what I think is an amazing idea, an assassin game like Hitman. You know that game where you sneak around a map trying to kill a target? I'm gonna try and make that, but instead of killing a target, the player will steal an object instead. The game jam ends in only 5 days. Well, technically it was 6 days, but I was busy yesterday. But either way, I'm gonna have to work really quickly to finish the game in time. Let's get the basic framework for the NPCs down, because that's gonna be a big part of the stealth game. So, we got our NPC here, looking pretty cool, and it's gonna have some states that it goes through. So I'm gonna keep it basic and simple since it's I only have 5 days, and I'm pretty new to all this. So we're gonna include idle for sure, an idle state where it walks through or roams through points A, B, and C, walking to them calmly. And then we're going to include an alert state where it senses the player that's entered its FOV or field of vision, and that's going to be characterized by an exclamation mark. And then lastly, we're going to have a caught state where it catches the player, and this is going to happen after the alert when the player gets too close, and it's going to end the game. We'll actually make this a question mark, and this will be the exclamation mark. So as you can see, the idle state leads to the alert state leads to the caught state, and if the player ever leaves the field of vision of the NPC will enter automatically back to its idle state. These NPCs will also need to be spawned in when the game is ran, and that should be all for the NPCs. Let's try to code it, I guess. We got our loaded faceplate here, and let's import a rig so we can start making our NPC. Here he is here, looking pretty good. Now let's try to make it act like an NPC, I guess. I just realized I do not have any animations, so I need to do that right now. Alright, we got the legging, so now we just have to do the torso and arms. Alright, so I've got the arms, arming, the legs, legging. All I need now is the torsoing, and the head doing its thing. And then we got a nice little animation going. Let's continue the time lapse. I finally finished the walking animation, and by no means am I an animator, but this doesn't look too bad. We have everything going on right now. It looks realistic enough so that you know it's walking comfortably, I feel. But yeah, let's go ahead and save this. We'll call it idle walk animation. Idle NPC walk animation. Let's be as specific as possible. And we'll save and close this. Then we'll export it. in the Roblox animation editor. Here it is in the Roblox animation editor, and now we'll just save it as an action. Save it like that, and publish to Roblox. Animation, and save. Now we'll copy that ID and use it later. For the next part of this devlog, I'll be working on the actual NPCs and getting them to spawn and walk around. I began coding the NPCs in the workspace to get a feel of the system I was trying to implement, but don't worry, I would later use the little knowledge I have of object-oriented programming to make the NPC system a little more efficient. But for the time being, I just want to see if they could work. Alright, so as you can see here, I finally finished the NPC walk cycle. I've included 3 points, 1, 2, 3, that I can rest at or idle and walk to. So it's also playing my animation here, if it's gonna move any second now. So yeah, we just created an NPC that walks through 3 points. I'll show you the code, although it's not much, especially given how long it took me. So this is the code inside the NPC. First we call or get the service run service, and we need to define a lot of variables. So we define the points data, we get some references to the character, we get some humanoid data, and then set the walk speed. Here are our states, idle and moving, and we get it to look at the character or the target. Next we get it to move to the target, and those are our 2 functions, that these states. Here's the script found inside the NPC. We have the points data that needs to be defined, a lot of variables, the character references, like the character itself, humanoid root part. We also have the humanoid data, like the ability to move, dead, walk speed, run speed, and then we set the walk speed. We have the 2 states we talked about and showed earlier. Then we have functions relating to movement, like move to and look at. And this is just a simple loop that runs it every frame. When it dies, it's also cleaned up and respawned. So we can start again as a new fresh NPC. Now all that's left for me to do is make the NPC spawn in. So I'm just gonna do that right now. I'm gonna make a little sidewalk here. Make sure to anchor it. And we'll turn can't collide off for now as well. So that'll be the road. I'm just gonna put a few spawn points so we can get the basic script running for the NPCs. Alright, so we have the road built, and I'm gonna group it as a folder, name it the road, and let's try make the spawns for the NPCs, I guess. It took so many hours, but I finally finished the system. The zones work, the NPCs work, you see them moving around, and the system is efficient enough to run a lot of NPCs at the same time, which I'll show you right now. If we just spawn a lot of NPCs here, we have a whole army of them heading towards their positions. They're all stopping where they need to stop for as long as they need to stop for. Wait, what's that? Even though the NPC didn't really work too well, that was my first time using metatables. So that wasn't too bad, Well, hopefully I can get this fixed up and working for the end of the video. This time, the NPCs are actually working. I did include a collision group this time so they can't do whatever those 2 did earlier. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Gonna wrap
This was
up
my
this
first
video.
devlog, and I'm really happy I was able to show you guys what I got done. I have a lot of plans for the next video as well. Subscribe to my channel so you can claim your Here Before 100 ticket. It comes with bragging rights. See you guys in part 2.